I want to talk about folk punk. Is it cringe? Is it goaded? I don't know. I all I know is I like it. I like it. I think it's good. I think there's some good songs. I think it has a lot of charm. I think it's novel. And I think there's something fishy about folk punk. And I want to talk about that most of all. The songs and the quality being put out by Days and Days, Pat the Bunny. Um, it's been a while since I listened to this stuff. The one from Philadelphia, the guy, he had a sad demise. I like that song, Old Time Memory. These were good songs. They were just good songs. And I didn't encounter anything on my journeys in my 20s that were more. I didn't encounter a scene that was more fresh and it felt like a real scene than the folk punk scene. Everything else felt very monetized, very clean, very fake. Obviously, EDM. I guess the hip hop scene. I'm talking about, but these are big disparities between hip hop and folk punk. And I'm talking about, melodic string music, melodic classic songwriting music. It wasn't rock and roll, but it felt rock and roll. More so than the coddled kids in Brooklyn and in Logan Square that I met. It was very real, and I felt like the people making it actually had something to say. And I saw these people. I saw their garages. I saw their vans. I talked to them. I was one of them. And I saw many scenes. And that was crazy, crazy stuff. People are afraid of it. And I think the fishy thing is that the fear of the folk punk revealed to me what the issue was with the media in that and the culture and what's going on. That's what was revealed. In that I realized no one was going to put these guys on. And I don't know if they wanted to be put on. And I realized if this was maybe 1990 or something, or maybe someone with taste would have shown up and said, "Hey, this is good." I don't know. It's very isolated, and those songs are so important. I would have thought, but maybe that would have been selling out. Days and Days should have signed a deal with some punk label or something, or some indie sort of subsidiary. Maybe they just don't want it, but I think the elites didn't want the folk punkers to get fame. Sorry, folks. The phone's telling me I need to cut this short. So I just wanted to say that I think there was a concerted effort to push down the folk punk movement. And there were very brief pockets of time where everything magically aligned. When Sovereign Olsen appeared on the local news, That was funny to play Pat the Bunny. Um, these songs have millions of views. That's my point. These songs have millions of views, millions of listens. It's popular stuff. It's more popular than a lot of indie bands that are successful in Brooklyn. That's what I'm trying to say. And everything is in a bubble, right? We're all in our own little bubbles. And a lot of people just don't know about the existence of a bubble of sort of addicted, opioid addict sort of culture. And that was a huge part of it, right? Is that the suburbs, the exurbs, the rural towns especially, are just flooded with people addicted to pills, addicted to pot, addicted to alcohol. It's not a good time for everybody outside the city walls. And the city walls don't want the people to talk about it in the national media. So all I'm saying is there was a reason you didn't hear about folk punk. Even though the songs are great, the performances were great. It doesn't matter. I'm very cynical these days. I don't think it matters how good your work is. I think it matters that the people, and I don't think the audience is unwilling to accept it. I think the tastemakers don't want to make that the taste. And it's up to you, right? Everything's up to you. And the big drag on these poor people is a flurry. The big drag on these poor people, I mean, poor, not trying to be insulting, I mean, poor in fortune. These unfortunate people, the problem is they have to do a lot of work. They have to tour. You could tour for 30 years, or you could have a rich uncle like Taylor Swift. And the audience gap for that is rich uncle can get you to 1 billion people. Touring can get you to 1 million. So that's what I've seen. The people will watch and listen to what the people holding the gates will tell them to. I'm here to say, listen to folk punk, even though they don't tell you to understand what's really going on in the country. It's extremely important. It's more important than watching Tucker Carlson or Democracy Now! Because it's emotional, it's real, and it gets the message across in 3 minutes what's going on in the actual country. More than the news bait, more than studying books about it, and they fear that. So I think it's the last gasp of the soul of the heartland. So